Hello and welcome to my first English video. Before we begin the 727 tutorial, a short disclaimer. This is a German YouTube channel, so the name Flugzeug Freak in English basically means aviation freak. My videos are normally in German, so don't wonder why all of the other videos are in German. I try to exceed range with my YouTube channel, so I think it would be a good idea to make English videos. And I'm sorry if I make some mistakes grammatically or I don't know with the vocabs. I'm sorry, I try to get better with time. And yeah, my first English video is a 727 and VOR navigation tutorial. I made this in English 2 and 1 week ago. It was 2 videos. And yeah, I thought it would be a good idea because I don't find any good videos about VOR navigation in such aircrafts in German and English, and that's why I'm making this video in English too. Yeah, you can use this video when you want to learn to fly the 727 or if you want to learn how to fly with VOR navigation. There are timesteps in the description where you can click to switch between 727 and VOR navigation. If you want to learn both, you can just watch the whole video. I try to explain it shortly and not get too detailed because this is a quick startup guide and a VOR flight tutorial. Yeah, one last disclaimer, I'm not a 727 pilot or a pilot overall, so if I make any mistakes with the steps in the cockpit or something like that, I'm sorry. You can write it in the comments if you know it better. But it's a tutorial how to get the aircraft started up on the runway, take it off, and navigate it without problems. And I would say let's start. So, to show you what we are flying today, I have got Google Maps, and yeah, everything is in German, so okay, we just leave that out. We're here at Honolulu, and we want to fly to Kowloon today. We've got a flight time about half an hour, and I have a SimBrief flight plan here. It goes from Papa Hotel November Lima to Papa Hotel Oscar Golf. We're going to 150, 36 minutes of flight time. We're flying the Boeing 722. That's the route. We don't fly this route because we aren't able in the 727. That's why we use another tool, but I'll explain that soon. Exactly. I just need SimBrief to get some overall information about flight time, level, fuel, etc. It's easier to get it in SimBrief, even if the 36 minutes may not completely right, because the VOR route is not that route what SimBrief told me. SimBrief is navigating by navates, and we are navigating by VORs. So we need the little nav map tool. I've got the route from Honolulu to Kowloon already, and we go to flight plan, and just want to make a flight plan. We're going to 15,000. I forgot a zero, and we're navigating by VRs. In German, the word for VR is Funkfeuer, which is the omnidirectional VHF frequencies coming from the VOR. So, we have our route. We're going from Honolulu to Kohat and then to Kowloon. The problem is we need some more VORs around the route. So I will enter Molokai, Lanai, and the Kowloon VOR. Can just do it by right click and add the VOR to flight plan. You see here it is. Add the next VOR to flight plan. Okay, that wasn't the VOR correctly. Will it work? Yes, now. VOR Lana E, add to flight plan. See the route is getting a bit longer. And just zoom in here and add to flight plan. So that's basically our route. We're flying from Honolulu to Cocoa Hat to Molokai to Lanai to Kaului, from Kaului to Maui. Here we have the frequencies, and that isn't correct because Kaului has to be below the VOR, but we basically can delete it. Okay, I'll explain that soon. Here we got the frequencies. Cocoa Hat 1139er, 1161, 1177 and 1151. The Maui VOR is just to get some overall information about how far is it to the airport, how far have we to fly. It's important to make these steps in the route because the problem in X-Plane, X-Plane has a limited range in the map you can open up with Mike, and the problem if you have a VOR which is not loaded yet, you won't be in range, so you won't get it, and your aircraft is telling you, "Hi, I don't know the VOR you wanted to fly to." In real life, you got sometimes a bit more range of the VOR, but that's basically not our problem. You can, if you find it here, find the range. It's 130 nautical miles for each VOR, and I am not quite sure how much range the X-Plane map has, but it's sometimes not. It's not okay, so you can't navigate unit vectors or something like that. That's just horrible, especially when you're flying online on VATSIM or something like that. So that's why just add some more points, you will get a better route, and yeah, basically the radar service can get you better through the other aircrafts. Good, if you get this one, you can open up a PDF, it's linked in the description of this video, and you can download it for your flight. It's called Flight Planning VOR, and I just made it for these kind of flights. You can enter your route, your airframe, time, then you can IQ departure, IQ arrival, and here you can enter the waypoints, so the VORs, the frequency, and if you need a special course, if there is terrain or something like that, you can just enter it too. I will show you how to read it in the little navmap tool. I will now enter the frequencies and the codes, so the names. For example, I then wrote Mike Kilo Kilo and make some spaces and write Molokai. So if I'm flying online, I know Mike Kilo Kilo is Molokai. That's basically when you're flying routes you've never flown before and you don't know how the VORs are named. We see us in, I think, not more than 5 minutes again. So here we've got our route. We're flying from Honolulu to Maui or Kaului. We're flying a 727-200, 722. Our time 1740 Zulu. That's in 20 minutes. I think we can make it. ICAO departure is Honolulu, of course. Cocoa Hat on 1139er. And here is the course. We'll come to that when we're done with that. Then Molokai 1161, Lanai 1177, and Maui on 1151. And then it's going to Maui Kaului. Okay, that's a bit lower than the. Okay. Yeah, where is the navmap and why isn't it open up here? There it is. The inbound course can be seen here. So we're flying from Mike Kilo Kilo Molokai to Lanai, for example. That's 25 nautical miles, and we're flying on 143 degrees. You can orientate example if your aircraft cannot reach the next VOR because it's not in range. You just enter the course and your aircraft is flying, yeah, more or less to the VOR. At this point where you have it in range, you just change from heading mode to VOR flying and your aircraft is directly going to the VOR. But you're not completely off course. That's why you can enter these into your flight plan. Just a little information. So we are zooming here. There is Honolulu and there is Kauai. This was flight planning and route planning, but the next part is getting even more interesting because now the 727 tutorials begin. For all of you who get the time step for the 727 tutorial, welcome now. We created a flight plan and now getting on the aircraft. So, first of all, it's important to get some views. That's the default view. I have a first officer view because I'm always flying from the first officer side. Very important is this view. It's the flight engineer. You can set up some views for the flight engineer, but I often use this and just look from here because you have everything inside. The overhead is normally on my Niner, but that's completely unimportant and you can just make it to your own. If you don't need it, you can, okay, you can use the overhead like this, how you like it. Some wing views, that's just funny. And the big disadvantage of this aircraft, it has no cabin. Yeah, that's sad, but I can tell you if you're navigating by VORs, you don't need a cabin because you don't have time for it. So, yeah, I think it's sad with the views. The next thing, I've got now the VOR INS. You can open up the options menu and choose if you want to have the default FMS by X-Plane. I don't recommend it at all. No nav system, then it's just blank. It's often used in reality so with some knobs for the weather radar or something like that. We've got it here. And the VOR INS, that's an additional thing which can be bought. I think it's about 15 bucks or so. I bought it because I like 727 so much that I just thought it would be interesting to get this thing. I don't make a tutorial about this because there are good tutorials already, and yeah, I'm not that familiar with it, so we make the VOR navigation without anything. Good. Let's start. We need a battery. You can see how the oxygen pressure is rising as we connect the battery, but nothing really happens. A few lights went on, but that's basically it. So we go to the sidebar, settings or options it's called, and enable the GPU card. Here you can enable a few other things as well, like the nav system, notifications. That's that here. I would recommend it at all. No, not white. I just want to have the notification disabled. And you can just click around here. There are some interesting things. So as you got the GPU card connected, close it. And here you've got your external power switch. Switch it on. And some electrical will go. The essential power source is needed in this aircraft. It's like the generator in the 737. We make it to standby and we see the captain gets some electric too. And we can light up the cockpit here with the switches. Engineer's panel can be light up. Cool feature is the panel light. I don't quite know if you can hear it. I make expand a bit louder. May you hear something flickering? That's the light. It's like in the real time, in the real aircraft, and if you make such a light on, very cool feature. So, which set 150, common altitude 6000 is okay. We check auto. None of these lights is illuminating, but all of these are functioning just by click it. We can turn on the packs, the cargo outflow and the gas fan. And okay, I turned that knob, that wasn't expected. Arm the emergency exit lights and turn on a logo light. Enable window heat and probe. Test the anti-ice and the pitot heat. Yeah, you can check every knob and every annunciator by just clicking it. That's cool because not every of the lights will light up when you make the test. So if you see here some lights, here you have to check it, and here go off. So if you just want to check one light, just click it. So we go to bright. You can dim it, as you know, from the 737 versions. So now we want to start the APU. Sensor oxygen and the fuel heat, ground intercept and flight normal. Low pressure is going on. You see the pressurization rising. Watch it don't exceed about 3 or in the yellow range. It should be geared at this time. Turn on the forward and aft pumps. And yeah, that texture, I checked the texture, is just like the door and that one here. It's in the complete cockpit texture. So that isn't just another knob model or another texture. That's why it's so, yeah. Many of these panels are other objects and bigger textures, so it's much more. Okay, that's not perfect, but it's much more better readable. That is just a mess. I don't like it. So, auxiliary power unit, 1, 2, 3. You can perform the fire test here as well. And you now see the exhaust temperature rising. As you've done that, continue with the galley power. That's set to on, that's set to on, that's set to on. You can turn on the other boost pumps. Watch all lights. They're off, that's okay. Here it's the table light. No, it's off. Okay, I don't know why it's so extreme lit here. Okay, yeah. I normally got this be on 0, but due to the CVA I changed it up. Okay, now I'm outside of the aircraft. I changed it up a little bit. I need this view for the flight today. Okay, so we are at Unicom. I'm flying offline, so it doesn't matter. But one big thing, I don't recommend to fly online, offline again, in this aircraft. Oh my gosh. Very, very important. Fly online, or I don't know, get somebody who really, really knows what he's doing. because if you need a vector departure or arrival, you're got in big trouble if you want to do it yourself. Watch my video about it in German. You just don't need sound. You see how horrible I'm getting in. I was making a go around and coming in a second time because it was so badly planned for me with self-vectoring, I just call it. Yeah, don't do it. Just get real vectors from a pilot controller or something like that. Don't. No. So, clock ahead VOR 1139er. Set that here. 9er. And 1161. So, what you hear was the code of the VOR. You can enable the sound here. And then you will get the sounds. And it will make the beep beep beep. So you can hear which VOR you just set it to go the first officer, the captain, and the flight engineer. Don't make it. That don't make sense today. Same I make here. 9er and 1161. Big thing to remember. In modern aircraft you got an active and a standby. Here you can switch between active and standby. So if this knob is flick around, for example to this here, that is getting active, and that is getting active. That's because it's a hardware knob, and that's hardware which you're tuning, and not just a 7-segment display. And it's not possible to say, okay, I want you to have active, and just go it to this side. That's not possible. So you have to say, okay, here I set the hardware switches to 1161 and say, now you're active. Remember that thing. It's the same with the ADF and the VHF communication. So we go in the overhead. We check the transponder is set. We check the local light is on. We can switch on the navigation light and get the pushback. I got a shortcut for the pushback. I would recommend it because that makes it easier, and he must come anywhere. Nah, there he is. Okay, good. So continue. Here we go to APU. We see the APU is providing power. For example, if I go to Gen 2, which is the engine number 2, it don't provide power. And the lights are illuminating. So you know, okay, APU, there's power. We can enable the generator. Then switch APU. Failure isn't illuminating. It would illuminate, for example, on Gen 1. Standby. And APU is now possible. GPU is disconnected, so let it at standby. And you can continue. Packs go off for the engine start. 150 is set. Landing altitude we set as we will land. Okay. IPU is stabilized. I thought the exhaust temperature would be too high, but now it seems pretty okay. Okay, we watch the APU here. APU bleed is connected to the engine 2 APU bleed, so check this is on. Passenger now on normal. Test the stall warning. And the important thing, park the wipers. Because in modern aircraft, if you go to off, they're automatically parking. If you go in this aircraft to off, the electric of the wipers will just will cut and they will stay where they are. One example. Okay, that was one too much. So, and right there, they won't get down. That's why just select park and they go into park position. So flick on the beacon light. Can quickly check the weather radar. I got range 20 set. And go up a bit. We got weather. It seems to be pretty fine at Hawaii. Weather pushback, start pushback. So just enter. Okay, there is. We zoom in. Range 4. Okay, there's something like below us. That's not interesting. Yeah, that should be okay. I don't expect any problems there. Could be some wind as well. So, release park brake. We're clear to start the engines. Oh, yeah. Okay, I thought the AC was still connected. We forgot about that. That's not bad because it's disconnecting automatically. Good. The start switches are up here. Open them up and start with engine 1. Go to this view and watch the N2 rising at about 20 to 25. You give fuel, so if you leave it to idle, the engine is starting. Number 3. So you can check start valve open, number 1 and 3. Number 1 is now finished the run up. The PSI of the oil pressure is rising. We've got 20 now. Watch oil pressure rising. Okay, stabilized in green. Number 2. Valve open and low pressure on engine number 1 and 3 is off. We've got 20 now. Oh, I just turned that knob. I'm not allowed to do this. Okay. Bullets. Oh, I don't think that is a taxiway. No, it isn't. Okay. Think we just ignored that. I thought that's the yellow line. We will taxi here. Okay, that's my mistake. Oh my gosh. So, engine is run up. We've got no low air pressure. All starters closed. And now we're doing the same again. Go to external power. You see it's off. So you don't have to do it. That's just for purposes of this video. So you see providing power. Lights illuminating because the generators are off. Providing power and providing power. Now you can close the generator. All of them are right. APU off. And both lights are out. And here go to Gen 2. Gas per fan is on. Packs on. It's okay. So now we can turn on taxi light. And the aircraft is started. In the US we have now to turn on the ITC, so the squawk, and arm the brakes to RTO. So I hope it helped to get this aircraft on. next week, or as I don't think it's next week because this video aren't coming the normal. Um, yeah, no, this okay. When we're making it next Friday, the part 2 is coming, and you can see how to navigate by VRs. Thanks for watching, I hope it helped a bit, and please comment below if you think my English is okay to do some more videos, because I like it, and yeah, I think it's due to I don't know, I just think you can make better aviation videos in English, because um, basically everything you have to do is in English, so please comment below. Okay, thank you for watching, and wish you a great day.